One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. To let me from the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken, he rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. The rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Man, we made it to hump day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and good morning to everyone, man. Wake up! It's time to wake up. Speaking of the devil, listen, we got a lot of shit going on going in the world. Ukraine protests, Zelenskyy signs bill weakening anti-corruption agencies, and more. Really, there's a lot of details to go into that, so we're going to get all into that here in a minute. But we have Texas flooding response. The head of FEMA search and rescue unit resigns. Interesting. Usually that happens on some political pressure bullshit. Then we have another story with Japan for the United States. Trump lands a massive $550 billion trade deal with Japan. It's fantastic news. Then we have a story that was going on in that we kind of bring up any of these stories that are continuations. We've been waiting for murder cases, to finally hit the court, whatever. This happened in 2023 regarding a Florida teen, but he is getting sentenced. He's a 15-year-old kid, and he's getting sentenced for 40 years for triple murder, which is brutal. And then, of course, there was a man earlier today. I'm double checking that. Yeah, it's only 2 hours ago, and it doesn't say it was like yesterday or something like that. There was a man accused of planting bombs around New York City, dude. Like, that's fucking crazy. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get right to the business, man, so we can talk about this and present it. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe because it's also free. Please consider, though, becoming a member, starting only at $2.99 a month, making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is exactly how we get to speak the way that we do. We don't cater ourselves to views or crazy radical things just to be able to get some views to get paid. We're 100% funded by you guys in the Breakfast Club, man, so I'm very appreciative of that. Well, side note, follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show and Millennial Food Time, breaking news, all that great shit, man. We continue on forward over there. And last but not least, every super chat, super sticker, gifted membership signups, all these things are, of course, going to be presented live onto the show and shouted out. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take, well, listen, we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to, and I've got it up on my phone ready to go, so just in case any of them come through, I can read it right away. I got to be good at that. But for the pocket watchers out there,
maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good to see everyone, man. We got Sick Bastard up in the building as well. We got Pitbull. He was the first one in the chat this morning. Good morning, kind sir. Actually, good afternoon to you over there in the UK. Brother Frank, my man, good to see you as well. Good morning. We got Carney's ride. He's also live, I believe. I believe he's live. Maybe he'd be just getting off. I don't know. But fantastic show this morning, kind sir. We got Brother Steve Easy up in here as well. As Off-Grid, my man. Good to see you. Always appreciate you. I like Hardwire. Hardwire says this. He goes, I said no likes from Mike on the poll, but I did anyway. Hey, that's a W. He's got to be a little bit of a contrarian. I get it. It's cool. Appreciate that. We got Mount High as well. Good morning. He says like button and left-handed to back all around. Yes, sir. Good to see you. As well as Gary, my man. Good to see you as well. Briar Wolf. Yo, my man. Good to see you as well. Christopher Collins, we got lots of heavy roll tide up in the building this morning, man. I love that shit. Tiffany, good morning to you as well. All right, and you guys can see Lucy is playing with something in the back, and she's like making a whole bunch of ruckus back there, so we'll probably end up hearing some shit break back there here very soon. Carney says he's still on. All right, nice. If you're still on by the end of this, I'll definitely send a raid over to you. You know what I mean? All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. Texas flooding response. This little bit of the update regards to the latest ordeal with the Texas floods. The head of FEMA, of search and rescue units, resigned. So we're definitely going to get the story on this. We got America Uncensored up in the building as well. Good morning to you. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, let's do this.
So many residents who were impacted by those deadly flash floods that swept through the area. Remember the banks of the Guadalupe River really swelling. More than 135 people losing their lives for these floods here. Texas Governor Greg Abbott with this message today. Take a look at this. Saying to my fellow governors, thank you. Texas is grateful for the outpouring of support after the devastating floods across our state. He says the bravery and generosity of Americans across the country.
Oh, I can only imagine the amount of donations that, us Americans, we're very generous. We're very generous people. When shit like this happens, man, we're usually really good at being able to send resources or whatever on a personal level. We're not talking on like a governmental level. We're talking on a personal, like whether you're donating to a GoFundMe or something like that, or you're donating to that kind of cause. It's awesome that you guys do that, man. But Gunpowder Nitro, good to see you, my man. Hopefully you're enjoying the morning. The news anchor looks like he eats hookers. Shit. Making it rain over here on them hookers, you know what I mean? Shit. Uh-oh. Did you hear that?
Played a vital role in our response and recovery operation, saying we will rebuild. And he goes through in this statement all of the states that volunteered, that sent crews, that helped out, that assisted.
Good morning, Prez. Good morning.
In each and every way. You can't really see this because it's small, but I'm going to read some of them. For example, Alabama, they sent a Type 3 urban search and rescue team and Swift.
Wow. So I see it right here. Type 3 urban search and rescue team, Swiftwater boat squads. That's what Alabama. Oh, so each one of these were the states that actually, on a governmental level, sent shit, resources, which is awesome. This is just on a basically a governmental level.
Water boat squads. Arizona sent a voluntary agency liaison and remote aerial equipment crew support team.
She fell asleep right before the show, dude. And I knew she was like warning me. She goes, I might fall asleep. And I'm like, hey, you can go ahead. It doesn't matter. And she's like, no, I don't want to, but I think I'm going to. We got Brother Beezer up in the building as well, down there in South Florida, my man.
Good morning. List goes on and on. California sending K-9 teams. Indiana sending K-9 teams. Maine with a voluntary agency liaison. Nebraska sending a Type 3 urban search and rescue team. The entire nation coming out to support our fellow.
You already know the deal.
Countrymen there in the Lone Star State. So like I said, this community meeting, it just got going. It just started. It's being held there on that YouTube stream. But in the meantime, I wanted to highlight for you some reporting there in the New York Times regarding the response by FEMA here. I want to read the New York Times report because a pretty high up FEMA official has resigned over the very response, and we'll tell you why in this report. I'm reading it now.
I'm sure there's some crazy pressure here politically.
They go as follows, that the head of the FEMA's Urban Search and Rescue Unit has resigned. That's according to the New York Times. This person told colleagues that he was frustrated by bureaucratic hurdles the Trump administration imposed that delayed the...
I told you it was going to be political. He was upset at Trump for giving red tape. Are you kidding me? That is the most oxymoron thing FEMA could say.
Agency's response to deadly flooding in Texas. Now, this is according to 3 people familiar with this individual's reasoning. This individual, his name, Ken Pogorek. He worked with FEMA's search and rescue branch for more than a decade. He served as...
Holy shit, we got Brother Beezer that's dropping in like it's hot, for real. My man, appreciate you coming in with the 5 gifted memberships. Listen, not only helping me, but you're helping somebody in the Breakfast Club as well. 5 others. Man, I very much appreciate you making it rain like that, man. Shit.
His chief for the past year told associates his concerns had been mounting since the start of hurricane season and that the administration's changes to the agency were causing, quote-unquote, chaos. He said he worried that a new policy that requires purchases of more than $100,000 be personally approved by Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary. He worried that could hurt disaster response efforts that require speed and agility. So experts have said that responses during a disaster can quickly total billions of dollars and that requiring personal approvals for expenses of $100,000 and above could easily
There's
create
Naomi. Wakey. Shit.
bottlenecks. So,
good to
want to
see you.
reiterate
Good
the
morning.
reporting there in the New York Times, which was confirmed by other outlets as well, that the head of FEMA's Urban Search and Rescue Unit has resigned. His name, Ken Pogorek. He worked with FEMA's Search and Rescue branch for more than a decade. He led the branch over the past year.
Get some.
And he said his concerns had been mounting,
Good morning.
specifically highlighting this new...
Happy Ump Day to everybody. Real quick, if you guys can do me a huge favor, get the likes up. Let's make sure we get those likes up. Very much appreciate you guys hitting that like button.
policy under new DHS Secretary Kristi Noem.
Shit. What are you trying to say, Beezer? What are you trying to say, cuh?
She has to personally approve expenses at the agency there, $100,000 and above. So we'll wait and see whether the Trump administration, DHS, or FEMA responds to this report there and this resignation.
Shit. Man, that's quite wild of FEMA to be calling out the Trump administration, well, Trump and his administration, for being too red tape for FEMA. Dude, get the fuck out of here.
Not the cap.
Fucking liar. It's all politics. It's just politics, dude. That's just the way it goes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and move into Ukraine protests. Zelenskyy signs a bill weakening the anti-corruption agencies. This is part of the main title that we labeled today on. So
we do want to get into
it.
some of these more international headlines, updates on the war in Ukraine. Well, some domestic politics, you could argue, getting in the way of wartime there as Ukraine prosecutes its war against Russian aggression. This is what we know. Ukraine's parliament today.
Real quick, we got Rebecca up there in Canada. Good to see you, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning, your hump day.
Passed legislation that would tighten oversight of 2 key anti-corruption agencies. Now, critics say that would significantly weaken their independence. It would give President Volodymyr Zelensky's circle greater sway over some of these corruption investigations. Fox's reporter there and correspondent Greg Calcott from London has more on this story. Let's listen.
Another night of relentless Russian airstrikes on Ukraine as the peace process slowly moves forward.
Kidding, Steve.
On Wednesday,
100%.
negotiators from both countries will meet face-to-face for the first time in 7 weeks. But the Kremlin has a laundry list of demands that are non-starters for Ukraine.
That's a W comment. Papa Penguin says, I hope the war in Ukraine isn't getting in the way of the criminal activity. Yeah, no kidding, dude.
Including withdrawal of Ukrainian troops from territories it captured, new elections in Ukraine.
By the way, Papa Penguin, you're going to have to send me your Cash App or your Venmo or whatever you use. I got to pay my bet. You know what I mean? You won the bet. So that's the way it goes. It's gentleman's bet right there. Well, for YouTube purposes, I'm calling it a gentleman's bet. But yeah, send me your Cash App.
Promise the country will never join NATO.
Ukraine can't
come to a deal like that, nor would the United States. And that's why this thing has been so challenging and why the president is frustrated.
Slim, good morning.
But it's still not clear how much pressure the U.S. is willing to put on Russia. President Trump set a 50-day deadline for a ceasefire, but Russian attacks have only intensified since then, prompting Ukrainian officials to plead for more help.
Putin is only afraid of Trump. He understands.
That's right, Carney, my man. He knows the deal. Like, subscribe, and become a member. Shit. And what the hell? We got Steve. His dog is a little racist or something. I don't know what the deal is. My little dog heard the EBT call and went to hide under the couch. It's brutal, dude. It's brutal.
Understands that only the United States of America can force them to make peace.
Sad state of
the U.S.
affairs.
recently resumed military aid shipments to Ukraine, and the two countries are reportedly close to signing a so-called weapons mega deal. But with the future of American aid still uncertain, other NATO allies say they'll step up and help fill the gap.
We Europeans need to ramp up our defense capabilities, not only because Americans have been demanding us to do so since long ago, but also because we see a clear and present danger.
Germany and the U.S. say they are working together to deliver 5 new Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine as soon as possible. In London, Greg Palcon, Fox News.
I hate that guy with a passion. That guy, I don't know what it is about certain people's mannerisms, and the way they speak sometimes. That guy has both fuck-ups. His mannerisms and the way he speaks. It really grinds my gears, actually. And he does this whole thing every time. Fox News. Why you need to do all that extra shit, homie?
To Ukraine as soon as possible. In London, Greg Palcon, Fox News.
I hate that.
Greg, thanks so much. In the meantime here, let's bring into the conversation national security analyst and expert and retired Marine intelligence officer Hal Kemper. He joins me. Hal, good to be with you here. Just want to...
This guy's actually been doing really, really good on the topic of Russia-Ukraine. He's actually done a very good job at reporting facts here and not getting too deep into, biasness. You know what I mean? He obviously there is a little bit there, but he does a good job at least answering the questions without extreme bias.
Start with this story because it is somewhat interesting that, yes, domestic politics can get in the way of even a country during wartime. We also, Hal, have some of this video of some of these protests in some of these Ukrainian cities. This one here in downtown Kyiv right here.
Damn.
So let's just, for the viewers.
Damn, that was pretty large.
Kind of go back. How did we get here?
Now, if you guys just don't know, Kyiv is like a Los Angeles. It's their like capital. You know what I mean? It's like a New York City.
So according to the Associated Press, the changes there would grant the prosecutor general new authority over investigations and cases.
Hold on real quick. We got Naomi, by the way, sending over a 10 spot over on PayPal saying, chirp. Shit. Hey, well, I very much appreciate your $10 contribution towards the channel. I very much appreciate you making it rain like that. Shit. All right.
Is handled by these two agencies. One, the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine and the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office. Now, on Monday, Ukraine's domestic security agency detained 2 NABU officials on suspicion of links to Russia.
That's right. That's right. Kind of like Washington, D.C., probably even more populated and bigger of like a Los Angeles, metropolitan area. It's a big area, actually. Anyways, get some. Jay coming in hot saying, thank you for all you do, brother. Got a bolt, man. And he says, chirp with it, man. Hey, man, I very much appreciate you hanging out with us, as always, and thank you for your contributions towards the channel. Hitting the like button, even though you said it was all defensive. I respect that. Hey, man, very much appreciate your $5 donation there.
And searched other agency employees on unrelated allegations. Under the law, Ukraine's prosecutor general will have sweeping powers over the NABU and the special anti-corruption prosecutor. The prosecutor general is appointed by the president, effectively giving Zelenskyy power to block investigations into members of his administration. Is this a power grab by Zelenskyy? Is this a misstep by Zelenskyy here? How do you read this, Hal?
Andrew, if you look at the protesters on the streets, they see it as a degradation of the independence of these anti-corruption bureaus. NABU and SAPO, both of these are relatively independent bureaus. They were put in place in 2015 because, be frank,
that's a good point, Papa Penguin.
Ukraine had a long history of public corruption. That's one of the problems that Zelensky's been working through is still dealing with corruption, even in the midst of war, dealing with corruption, dealing with military acquisition process with corruption in the midst of this major war. So they have some deeply ingrained corruption issues that they've been addressing. Now, what this does, as has been pointed out, is it puts it on the prosecutor general. Now, the problem there is that's a political appointment, and the feeling is that the dominant party, and keep in mind they don't have elections now because they're in martial law, that Zelensky's party essentially politically now controls these two bureaus. That's one side. The other side is what Zelensky says, and what Zelensky is saying is, hey, they have been infiltrated by Russia. They have been influenced, and that's a kind of an interesting charge. I'd like to see more evidence presented on that as to what exactly they're talking about. But the reason it's interesting is A, it is possible, and B, because they were so independent, they can get access to a lot of different things. And if I was a Russian...
So I'm kind of curious by this one. I saw this title, this whole headline. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this. Why are they protesting, theoretically, a law that would curb corruption? It's curbing anti-corruption agencies. See, I'm getting confused with the nomenclature here. Is this some sort of law that is stopping corruption agencies to expose anti-corruption? Well, whatever. I just don't understand what the whole thing is. If it's weakening the ability to get these agencies or get corruption out. See, this is what I don't understand what it is. Is it making it easier to be corrupt or harder to be corrupt? I thought it was looking like it was being harder to be corrupt, but and that's why I was like, well, why are they all fucking out there protesting?
An intelligence officer, if I was, in the FSB, I might target those two entities because if I could get sources in there, they have tremendous access across all the government. So I'm not saying that is, obviously the protesters think that's just an excuse, but actually there is some sense to that. And the reason it jumps out at me is how fast it happened.
Okay, real quick, before he gets into it, I'm going to read this. Okay, national security analyst Hal Kempfer, which is this dude up here, joins Andrew Kraft to explain the significance of a new bill signed by Ukrainian President Zelensky that aims to weaken anti-corruption agencies. In response, protests erupt in Ukraine on Tuesday, which was yesterday. According to the Associated Press, fighting entrenched corruption is key for Ukraine's bid to join the European Union and maintain access to billions of dollars in Western aid. Interesting.
This literally went from the morning, as nobody knew what was going to happen, to the afternoon where it actually passed. One house had actually passed the bill, and they thought it was a fait accompli that this was going to be done.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Why would Zelensky do that?
And it moves so fast. It's like
money.
I almost had the feeling that maybe Zelensky is pointing to something. Obviously, he doesn't want to talk about the extent of it, but it moved so fast that somewhere behind closed doors, they decided this had to be done, and basically said, in so many words,
you be safe out there, brother Steve. Always appreciate you, my
political
man.
Torpedoes, full speed ahead.
Safe.
Okay, so you and I have talked a lot during the course of this war about some of these Ukrainian officials, some appointed, some elected, who later it was revealed did have Russian sympathies,
okay, I understand, Steve Posey. Now it says it means he's stopping anti-corruption agencies. He wants to be able to do shady shit, not be investigated. Yeah, well, fuck, man, that's crazy. Like, I almost had the exact opposite thinking process. I thought they were kind of doing it the opposite, making it more secure, making it harder to be corrupt. This is originally how I read the headline, but I didn't watch it until watching it right now with you guys. So I was like trying to decipher what the fuck they were talking about. But this makes sense. But that's insane. That's insane. And the amount of response that Ukraine is doing, if you guys have seen those images, it looks like thousands of people out there, like in Kyiv. That's a big deal.
Russian allegiances, and they were held accountable, either fired from their posts or arrested for whatever, what have you here. But Zelensky ascended to the top spot there in Kyiv on an anti-corruption platform. He said he's not going to veto this piece of legislation. He ran on rooting out corruption. You and I both know, viewers know, Ukraine wants to be in NATO. Ukraine wants...
it seems like nothing is a surprise anymore, and that was even a little bit of a surprise.
To be in the European Union.
But shouldn't be surprising coming from who it is. I'm just saying that it was allowed.
In order for those membership bids to get green lighted, they have to show proof that some of these anti-corruption measures are having an effect in Ukraine. What now?
So now they have to provide proof, but who is the deciding factor of if that proof is valid or not? The government? Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, no. That's crazy.
Well, the problem they have now is, and you're already starting to hear this burble up really fast from the European Union side. They said, hold on. You've just undermined the independence, the integrity of these anti-corruption elements that were set up in part to pave the way for accession into the European Union and, of course, eventually accession into NATO.
Wow.
And that has to be in place. There are very stringent requirements to join both of these organizations, and anti-corruption measures are a part of that. They have to have that integrity in the system in order to be part of it. So what this has done is two things. Number one, it set them back. They're not on a road right now because of this. I don't see the EU moving forward on this because they're going to say, look, this has to be resolved. Number two,
well, yeah, of course they're going to say this shit's going to be. You guys need to figure it out. That's essentially what the EU's totally going to do. What's up, Lappy? Good morning to you. Hopefully you're enjoying your hump day so far.
It's quickly reversed, and keep in mind, it's not completely done yet. But if it was quickly reversed, it would then extend the amount of time that they say, hey, look, what did you do when you had the safeguards or the independence down? Did you politicize the system? Did you open the door for more corruption? There's a lot of questions that the EU and NATO will have down the road as far as what was being done.
Okay.
On the other hand, though, is it possible that what Zelensky's alluding to, which would be a pretty significant counterintelligence failure, if you will, that Russia had infiltrated these organizations and were using them to collect intelligence or do other things? I really do think that that's something that needs to be looked at. I don't think President Zelensky just doesn't throw stuff out there. I've listened to this guy very closely, particularly over the last 3+ years.
Right.
He's not one to throw away phrases. Putin.
No, his only phrase is "Give me money, give me more money."
I don't believe anything Putin ever says, but Zelensky, he's.
Oh my God! Don't be an apologist for Zelensky now, dude.
He actually does not make this stuff up because he knows he will be held to account, and he'll be held to.
Stop the cap.
Jesus.
Western standards, and so I do think there might be something to that.
So, Hal, lastly, how does this affect Ukraine's prosecution of the war? If you have public dissent, if you have Ukrainians protesting in the streets, is that a distraction? Can they keep their eye on the ball? Can they walk and chew gum at the same time? Remember, before October 7th, and in the wake of October 7th, there on the streets of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, Israelis en masse stopped protesting the judicial reforms that were percolating throughout the country, and they came together in the wake of the Hamas terror attack. I'm not making apples to apples comparisons here, but can a country face public dissent and protest like this and still operate during a war?
Well, what I will say, yeah, I do think
that's actually a really good question, Andrew.
Can, depending on how ingrained the protest movement is. Again, I think President Zelensky and his party, or at least his cabinet, has to make a case, and they're going to have to. It may be difficult, but they're going to have to kind of reveal what were you alluding to? What was the cause?
Yeah, no kidding. Shit.
That led to what was done here. They're going to have to make that case to the Ukrainian people. Now, can you have protests on the streets and still prosecute a war? Yes, but I will tell you, if I was in the Kremlin and I was doing information operations or disinformation operations and looking at Ukraine, I would look at this as a gift and say, okay, we're going to use this every way we can to hammer home the narratives that it's a corrupt regime. Okay. Somehow I'll twist that into what they love to say is that it's a neo-Nazi regime or something like that. So they're going to use this and that does weaken them to a certain extent, certainly with those who listen to Russian propaganda. And it won't be just Russia. There are others who Russia will use to.
Well, I mean, there's propaganda in every single fucking country, dude. I mean, it's just Russian propaganda or fucking Ukrainian propaganda, dude, whatever. It is what it is. American propaganda. All right, we're going to move into Trump landing a massive deal, a massive $550 billion trade deal with Japan. So let's go ahead and figure out what the dealio is on that. I think that this came out 4 hours ago. Yes, sir.
We are following some breaking news as it relates to the Trump presidency. I want to transition your screen to give you a live look at the White House as we're learning a massive $550 billion trade deal has been reached with Japan.
She said $550 billion. $550 billion.
And President Donald Trump confirming this information, adding it will create hundreds of thousands of jobs. I want to provide the latest remarks from the commander-in-chief as relates to this breaking news. I'm going to drop the banner so we can read it together. Take a look at your screen. President Donald Trump saying, quote, "We just completed a massive deal with Japan, perhaps the largest deal ever made. Japan will invest at my..."
Shit, you know what I need right now? Speaking of investments right now, we got to invest in my sanity. That's what we're going to do right now. So anyways, back to
direction, $550 billion into the United States, which will receive 90% of the profits. This deal will create hundreds of thousands of jobs. There has never been anything like it. President Donald Trump goes on to say, quote, "Perhaps most..."
Real quick, we got brother Chris Lestrange, my man. Good to see you. Saying yo, Captain Mike, chat. Hopefully y'all have an epic day. You as well, my man. And we got brother Frank, the same ball valve. Getting off the subject, but you play any Ozzy? I still know probably like 5 or 6 songs like on guitar that I could play. But yeah, no, Ozzy was a little bit, that was my father's, kind of, generation and time. That wasn't my go-to. Ozzy wasn't my go-to for like rock and roll and shit like that. That was like my dad's stuff. But I still really appreciate, obviously, without Ozzy, we wouldn't have had any of the shit that is what we have today in rock and roll. You know what I mean? He was the Elvis of my dad's generation, for real.
Importantly, Japan will open their country to trade, including cars and trucks, rice, and certain other agricultural products and other things. Japan will pay reciprocal tariffs to the United States of 15%. This is a very exciting time for the United States of America, and especially for the fact that we will continue to always have a great relationship with the country of Japan. He concludes his statement by saying, quote, "Thank you for your attention to this matter." We know that President Trump saying Japan, as I just mentioned, will open its country to trade.
Yeah. No, that's true. I'm just saying that Ozzy was a little bit more of that old school, in my worldview, because I wasn't born in that time. You know what I mean? I wasn't around in the 80s and shit like that.
And things like cars, trucks, rice, and other agricultural products. Japan will also pay reciprocal tariffs of 15% to the U.S. Under this deal. While speaking at the White House Tuesday evening, President Donald Trump boasted about the deal, saying how he, quote, "signed the largest trade deal in history with Japan." He said Japan's top people were at the White House and worked long and hard on a great deal for everyone. We do have more remarks that we want to share with you as related.
So real quick, I'm going to reread that. We just because we kind of paused a couple times while she read it. We just completed a massive deal with Japan, perhaps the largest deal ever made. This is from Donald Trump, by the way. Japan will invest, at my direction, $550 billion into the United States, which will receive 90% of the profits. Wow. This deal will create hundreds of thousands of jobs. There has never been anything like it. Perhaps most importantly, Japan will open up their country to trade, including cars and trucks, rice, and certain other agricultural products and other things. Japan will pay reciprocal tariffs to the United States of 15%. This is a very exciting time for the United States of America, and especially for the fact that we will continue to always have a great relationship with the country of Japan. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Man, that's a huge W right there, man. That's awesome. Seriously. That's a big W for Trump.
To this breaking news. Japan's prime minister making remarks on this trade deal, saying, quote, "With the idea of prioritizing investment over tariffs, Japan and the U.S. have reached a deal that will benefit both sides. Automobile tariffs and reciprocal tariffs will be 15%. He goes on to say, quote, "I sincerely thank Donald Trump and his tremendous leadership. Grateful to minister as well as those involved on both sides for their dedication."
Yeah, come on, Hardwire. Man, I graduated high school in 2013, bro. Just got to remember this shit.
Efforts. He concludes by saying, "Together with the president, we will build a new golden era for Japan and the U.S." Coming back stateside as we're following this breaking news, if you're just now tuning in, President Donald Trump.
Man, this is
announcing
awesome.
a massive trade agreement with Japan. As we know, this historic $550 billion trade deal with Japan. President Donald.
Man, that's awesome. Good W for, not only Trump, but obviously the United States there, man. That's fucking awesome. And if it can create any jobs, it's a blessing. Absolutely. All right, we're going to move into the next story. This has been an ordeal since 2023. This teen, I guess he was 15 at the time. I believe he's now 16. We'll find out more. but he is sentenced to 40 years for a triple murder back in 2023.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. Continuing with your top stories and headlines, we now head to the Sunshine State of Florida. Happening today, 2 teens who were involved in the triple murder of 3 other teens in Marion County will be sentenced. Detectives say the 3 teens were all involved in low-level gang activity. The triple murder happening back in 2023. We want to check in now with Fox 35 Orlando's Amanda McKenzie. She joins us live from the Marion County Courthouse. Amanda, good morning. We're learning 1 teen was sentenced yesterday.
That's right. And the judge said in his 35-year career that he had never seen a 12-year-old charged with homicide. Christopher Atkins was.
So he was 12 at the time? How's he 15 now?
Sentenced yesterday. He's now 15 years.
I guess it has almost been that long. I'm thinking 2023's, last year.
Years old and was given the minimum sentence after pleading guilty. He will spend the next 40 years in jail, convicted of homicide, armed robbery, tampering with evidence, and a separate battery committed while in jail. The teen spoke in court right before he was sentenced.
I think it's just y'all think I'm bad. I'm not. I promise you I'm not. I promise you give me another.
Don't speak like that though, man. If you just chilled out with the jive in court like that, I mean, come on, man. You're not going to get any. I don't even know why you say anything. You're screwed.
I think it's just y'all think I'm bad. I'm not. I promise you I'm not. I promise you give me another chance.
I promise you I'm not.
I promise you gonna see what I'm talking about. I promise you. I bet you gonna see me on that TV doing good.
Families of the 3 victims, Layla Silvernail, Camille Quarles, and Michael Hodo, were all in the courtroom, all crying, cursing, and asking for the maximum penalty for Christopher Atkins, who was 12 years old when he shot and killed 16-year-old Camille Quarles. The triple murder happened on March 30th, 2023, when 6 kids were riding in a car together. There was an alleged plan to rob a 16-year-old at gunpoint. Atkins says Taj Bruton, for reasons that are not clear, shot Michael Hodo, then Robert Robinson shot Layla Silvernail, which led to her car crashing. When they got out, Atkins says Robertson threatened.
Yes, an unjustified murder. Yeah, for sure.
To kill him and his family if he didn't shoot Camille Quarles.
There's two different types of murder: justified murder and unjustified.
He did, and then says Robertson shot her and again in killing her. Atkins has a month to appeal his 40-year sentence. As for the other 2 teens that are co-defendants in this case, Bruton is scheduled to be sentenced today at 9 a.m. and Robinson at 1:30 p.m.
Damn. So that's all happening today. I guess he did get the full sentencing, though, of 40 years. He did get that for triple murder. All right, so we have an interesting story that was coming up right when I woke up. Man accused of planting bombs around New York City, and this is only as of 2 hours ago. What the fuck is going on with people, man? Real quick before we get into it, we got Chatting with Stacks up in the building. Good morning. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far and your hump day. Shit.
7:43 here on the East Coast. Welcome back to Live Now from Fox, giving you that beautiful skyline shot out in the Big Apple. We're learning this morning a man now in federal custody after authorities say he was found with several homemade explosive devices and other weapons. He allegedly placed them in the city, potentially putting the lives of countless New Yorkers at risk.
Why?
We want to check in this morning with Fox 5 New York's Robert Moses. He joins us live at the...
Jesus, why did they? That's their audio. So let me go ahead and bring this down so we don't blow up our ears, and then the audio engineer can fix it. Sounds like he's next to a fucking jet.
Robert,
fix it. There you go.
Gina, good morning to you. And in fact, the suspect who's in custody.
Look, this little tiny piece of shit microphone. Yeah, lose that shit, homie. Get a real fucking microphone. You talking internationally.
That he placed one of those improvised explosive devices on the subway tracks here on the Williamsburg Bridge, and had that device exploded, we could be talking about serious injuries or deaths. Luckily, that didn't happen. Authorities laid out their allegations in a 7-page criminal indictment. On March 27th, 55-year-old Michael Gann, who is from Long Island, posted this message with plenty of grammatical errors on X and tagged the president. He wrote, "Dear POTUS, I'm thinking just now here in NYC that it's too bad that the wall wasn't built before the National Guard would have to come here for the protests and riotation, or would you just drop a bomb on this place while and because they seem to be coming and coming." In May and June, Gann, seen here holding shotgun shells, conducted internet searches about bomb making and firearms. On May 30th, he placed an online order for 2 pounds of potassium perchlorate.
Jesus.
Pound of aluminum powder, more than 200 cardboard tubes, and more than 50 feet of fuses, among other products.
And that shit didn't raise any flags out there, you know what I mean? We have so many databases and all this shit. You're telling me this guy's buying all this shit on the internet, and I guarantee you that's where he gets most of it. None of it was flagged?
Getting those products on June 4th on Long Island, he mixed the chemicals, lit them on fire. That caused an explosion. He then...
What's up, Bill Castle? My man over there in Washington State. Good morning.
Brought the unused chemicals here to the city and assembled his improvised explosive devices. Again, you can see here in a surveillance image stored
Look at
5 of
that. That's the actual image of the bombs that he created. Holy shit.
those IEDs along with 4 shotgun shells on the rooftop of a residential building in Soho here in Manhattan. The black IED you see there has about 600 times.
Yeah, it's just sitting there. What the fuck?
The legal limit of explosive powder for consumer fireworks. He threw a 6th IED onto the Williamsburg Bridge subway tracks. You can see it circled in red. When he was arrested in Soho.
What's up, brother GEG? Good morning.
On June 5th, he was found with a 7th IED on his person. He falsely told the authorities that he had thrown away the rest of the shotgun shells and chemicals in a dumpster in Chelsea, though he couldn't remember where that dumpster is. Hours before his arrest, police say that he posted on Instagram, "Who wants me to go out to play like no tomorrow?" He's charged with 1 count of...
What's up, Jack and Classy? Good morning.
Attempted destruction of property by means of explosives, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 20 years in prison. He's also charged with 1 count of transportation of explosive materials and 1 count of unlawful possession of destructive devices. Each of those charges carries a sentence of up to 10 years in prison. Gina,
10 years? That's it? 10 years? Bro, you just made a whole bunch of bombs and planted it around the city. You're telling me homeboy only facing up to 10 years, most likely only going to get fucking sentenced 6 or something like that and serve 2? Are you fucking serious? Like, that's fucking crazy, bro. That's insane.
All right, Fox 5 New York's Robert Moses. Always a pleasure, Robert. Thank you so much for you and your team providing the very latest information. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Yeah, per charge, per device. Well, each charge is probably per device, right? It should be. I mean, they're planted strategically or whatever around, whether they're strategic or not, you planted them around the fucking city. What the fuck you doing? You know what I mean? All right, real quick, let's go ahead and move on into one of our last stories. Let me go ahead and refresh on there is this whole story. Actually, let me go ahead and bring this up because this just came out. And this was a very big controversial topic, and it is a controversial topic around, the globe right now. I mean, everyone's kind of really talking about it. And you guys are going to see what I'm talking about here in just a second. For some reason, it's not pulling up. Oh, here we go. All right. So do you guys remember the whole thing? You guys may have seen it on the internet. A Florida man getting in Jacksonville or something like that. Yeah, Jacksonville. Dude he's just sitting there in his car, gets the window broken and pulled out of the car, and they punch him in the face while they do it. And it's actually pretty brutal. So let me see if the actual video is on this, because this is an attorney and driver punched by deputies hold a news conference. So this is the kid right here that we're talking about here. Let me go ahead and pull this video up so you guys can see I saw it be posted by the Associated Press yesterday. You guys are going to be like, oh, what the fuck? If you haven't seen it. All right, here it is. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Sorry, it just takes a second to pull all this shit up. Oh, I don't want to hear their report on that. I want to see the actual... Associated. Because I don't want any bias with them talking with it, you know what I mean? I want to see the fucking... Here it is. So I'm giving the commentary. I don't need the news to do it. That's the big point. All right.
This case arose from a traffic stop in Jacksonville, Florida. in which the officers claimed that a motorist wasn't using his headlights in inclement weather. They proceeded to try to get the motorist out of the car, and he was asking questions and didn't want to get out of the car right away. His lawyers alleged
What's up, Moto Bomb?
Police used excessive force by
Good morning.
punching him repeatedly.
Brother
as
Lee
they
Lance.
drag him out of the car.
Good
The
morning.
case didn't get
Here it goes.
a lot of attention until just recently over the weekend when a cell phone video began
Yeah, the social media. Any social media, man.
circulating on the internet. And the cell phone video is from the vantage point of inside the car, and it shows the officers striking the motorist and pulling him out of the vehicle.
Can you call your supervisor?
The motorist is asking for the deputy supervisors, and shortly after that, one of the officers smashes the windshield of the vehicle,
And then open
and
hand,
appears to strike.
open palm punches, dude. Like bam, like super fucking, like not, it wasn't close fist, but he went bam. Motherfucker, you take out your day on the homie. You know what I mean? Jesus.
Smashes the windshield of the vehicle. That one of the officers smashes the windshield of the vehicle and appears to strike the motorist. He's then dragged out of the car, and a second punch is thrown outside the car as he's being taken into custody.
Yep, punched him right in the face right there.
At this point, at least one of the officers involved is on a routine leave while the sheriff's department determines whether any of its policies were violated.
So here's my whole thing with this. All right, this is I know this can sound like an apologist point, but it's not. Listen, just because you are being polite does not mean you're resisting. Okay, both you can be polite and resisting at the same time. They asked that dude like 10 times to get out of the fucking car, and what the problem of this from this video is not the 10 minutes behind them asking him to get out of the fucking car. Dude didn't get out of the car, didn't take his seatbelt off, didn't do any of that shit. His window was broken, so what they don't show is he closed his door. You saw it was open because his window was fucking broken, so he couldn't roll it down. So when he first got pulled over, he opened the door. Well, then he closed the door and locked it, okay? And then that's when he was arguing, saying, you need to bring can we get a supervisor out here, blah, blah, blah. Well, you can do all of that, but you need to listen to what the fuck they're telling you to do. That's just the truth. It doesn't matter what color you are, because this is going to totally become a fucking race thing. 100,000%. Now, was the cops, throwing punches and shit justified? No, I'm not saying that those cops should be fucking hitting the fuck out of them. I mean, they should be de-escalating the situation. But the point of the situation is you have to, even if you disagree with what they're doing, it doesn't matter. You abide by what they're doing, because if you go against them, they're gonna win no matter fucking what. If you think that your rights were fucking infringed on or anything, that's when you take them to fucking court. You know what I mean? That's the point of doing that. That's the whole fucking point. You're not gonna sit there. There's no judge on the side of the fucking road right there to make, you have to be able to just, if you want to survive, you'll get out of the fucking car when they ask you to get out of the fucking car. Anyways, that's my little take on that. I know that's controversial, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and have the actual video here. This just came out about 15 minutes ago. The attorney for the driver that, the said driver that we just saw in that video is right here, standing over there. They're going to be holding a news conference, so let's go ahead and figure out what they're saying.
How was he resisting? By putting his hands up?
You're resisting when you're not getting out of the fucking car the first 10 times they ask you. It doesn't, just because you're being polite and you're not sitting there being someone that's either yelling, emotional, throwing punches, violent, doesn't have to be all that. Doesn't have to be all that. You could just sit back and just be the nicest guy in the world. But guess what? If you're not listening to what the fuck they're telling you to do, dude, they're going to take necessary action. That's just the way of the road.
Give our children the talk, and he mastered the talk. So now the ball is in law enforcement's court. What more would you have someone do other than ask and exercise their constitutional rights? This is atrocious. We need justice and accountability. We need
Yeah, so that's the whole thing right here. If he wanted to seek justice for his rights being infringed on, you just get out of the car, get arrested. What, you're a man, dude? You can't handle getting arrested? Are you fucking serious? Get arrested and then go fucking win in court. Stay alive.
The officer held accountable, and I'm honored to stand shoulder to shoulder with William, Attorney Ben Crump, Attorney Harry Daniels,
I believe it, Gary.
All of the lawyers that are behind this. But now we need
Frederick
America
Frame,
to
good
send
morning.
a message. Y'all saw the video. 20 million views. It's time for 20 million people to contact the sheriff and say you need to do something.
I can vouch for this, Gary. So nobody's profiled more than someone with a 3-piece patch. Yeah, no fucking kidding.
Jason, Keith, I would like to say a couple of things. We're not going to take a lot of your time. First of all, I'm blessed and honored to be here to assist Mr. Daniels, Mr. Crump, Mr. Gregg, Mr. Covington. I'm out of Greensboro, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, and we flew in because this case is important. It represents everything we stand for. I've stood toe-to-toe with Mr. Daniels and Mr. Crump in these matters.
Here comes all the cope. A stage of cope.
And we just don't want them to be any more matters like this.
Of course,
we
it's
won't
going to
change.
This will absolutely 1,000%, and it already has been 1,000% portrayed as a race issue. 1,000%. And that's the sad thing, because the truth of the matter is, you replace me in that same situation doing the same thing, dude, I'm going to get my window busted. I might get fucking punched in the face too and be dragged out of the fucking car just like anybody else. You know what I mean? If you resist the fucking police, you're going to be met with resistance. And resistance doesn't look fucking good from the cops. I'm just going to tell you. So don't try to resist the cops. Fight them in a different way.
And I think that the most important part about this is at this stage, I think we've had a lot of conversations about Mr. McNeil and how he responded. But the question is now is how is Jacksonville, Florida going to respond? That's the question. I mean, as we look and we see our youth and we try to give an understanding of what to do in these encounters, what happens when we do all the right things and it still turns out wrong? What happens next? How do we turn the page? How do we make it to where you don't have to fly all these people in to fight for something that should have never happened in the first place? And so I would like to say a couple things. I would like to say, first, I'm honored to be here, and we are here to fight for you. And we're going to fight.
Jesus.
And we're going to stay as long as it takes. We're flying every time we need to. I'll come back. We'll come back. And we want accountability. And we want
Now, the truth is, from the amount of press that this is going to get, Jacksonville is definitely going to settle for damn sure. There's going to be a settlement here. Dude might end up walking away with fucking $1 million just to shut up, you know, kind of thing. Which is, it's crazy, but that is the truth. And these guys know it. You raise enough attention like this, get enough, squeaky wheel always gets the grease, you know. And especially when it gets on social media, that's your leverage, you know, for sure.
All levels. And we don't want this to be a situation of swept underneath the rug, because if not, it's going to happen to somebody else. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Attorney Keith and Attorney Griggs. It is not lost on us, as Attorney Daniels said, that William represented the best we had to offer. He had never been arrested, never been convicted.
And the truth is they did mess with the wrong, this is one of those cases that they definitely did mess with the wrong kid. Kid was, educated. He's definitely one of those dudes that went to college, has a liberal arts degree, smarty arty degrees, shit like that. They mess with the wrong kid. No fucking no background, no felonies, never been pulled over. That's the one. That's also a terrible, terrible thing. Look for the police department for sure, and one of the big reasons why they're going to end up settling this case too.
Convicted of any crime, and you can see from everything that happened on the video, he was a very measured young man, and he was trained at a historically black college and university of Livingston College in North Carolina, and it exemplified the best that our children are. You know, when you think about this moment, this truly is what he exhibited.
You too, brother Chat. We'll see you on the flip side, my man Stacks.
A 21st century Rosa Parks moment.
Oh boy.
Where an African American had the audacity to say, I deserve equal justice under the law. I deserve to be treated
and
like
that's also very true. The minuscule violation of that. But that's from an optics, not understanding the whole situation, though. And that's, of course, going to be used entirely, against the police department 100% in this lawsuit.
Human being with all the respect that a human being is entitled to. And we can only imagine, had he not been filming that video, what the narrative would have been. And I guess as Attorney Daniels told me, no, we know what the narrative would have been, because he said they didn't know he was filming, so they wrote these reports that were completely contradicted by
Yes, that is true, Lil Paul. There was, what I saw, I didn't see that there was two black cops. I did see that the one big black cop in the video when on the takedown, but I didn't notice there were two. Interesting. But yeah, exactly. I don't know how that shit works, Lil Paul. It's just a good way to get fucking paid.
the video.
And they know it.
So, God knows, you're going to hear from his mother and father in a minute. I can't think of what black mothers.
Oh man, so they actually bring up the family and everything. Okay, let's go ahead and
volunteer in the marching band and academic student in biology, but also spends time on the weekends being a servant. Like, go home.
All right, I think this is mom. Right here.
You come over.
This is mom.
Hello, I'm Latoya Solomon. I'm Williams McNeil's mother. He's my firstborn. He's also my only son. I have 4 children. He is the only boy. I have 3 girls. The day I seen that video, I couldn't finish it past the window breaking.
They told her, just get there, get out there and just squeeze every bit of emotion. That's exactly what these conferences are professional for.
Until maybe a few months ago, I finally finished the whole video. But I'm thankful to God for protecting him, because I know what the outcome could have been. But I believe in faith in God. It's what protected my only son, and I thank God for that.
Exactly,
Good morning.
Chris.
Good morning. I'm Alton Solomon, the father.
This is the father.
Stepfather. But I can't call him my stepson, because this is my son.
Yes, sir.
I've been through what he's been through. To see that video made me go back to the moment when I was 22. It hurted. It made me upset. But I seen what my son did that I had to do. And he's
speaking
right.
slow.
And he did right. To see that is a hurting feeling. To be a father that loves God first. And to see all my kids not being able to wake up in the morning and get a phone call saying your child is gone. That's a hurting feeling, but I thank God.
Yes.
Because God got him.
Yeah.
Y'all keep us in prayer.
William just gonna make
Oh,
a
this
few
is
remarks
homeboy.
before we go to Q&A.
This is homie right here. She.
Keep this family in prayer because, as his mother and father both said, they knew he could have been the next hashtag. It could have been a different result had he not kept his demeanor.
First of all, I want to thank God for bringing everybody here together, and thank y'all for supporting me. That day, I just really wanted to know, why I was getting pulled over and why I needed to step out of the car when I know I didn't do nothing wrong.
I didn't do nothing wrong. What are you talking about?
I was really just scared. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Enough, William.
We organized this whole thing. I mean, I was just scared.
Justice for William McNeil. Justice for William McNeil. Justice for William McNeil. Justice for William McNeil. Justice for William McNeil.
Man, this is wild, Cope.
William McNeil. We have to stand up for our children. We have to speak up for our children, and we have to fight for our children. If we don't fight for our children, nobody...
Oh my God, then nobody will. What fucking cliche motherfucker.
This is repercussions of presenting, but he, with his faith and his family, and speaking with his legal
We'll
team...
see you on the flip side, Brother Frank.
He decided to move forward in this matter, particularly that it's not just about William McNeil. It can be somebody else tomorrow, and that's what drove him to come forward.
I would simply say this. Thank God he recorded that video. Thank God he recorded that video. Yeah, I mean, when you think about all the young people should be recording these interactions with law.
I do agree. You definitely should. You should definitely record your interactions. Yeah, film the police. Absolutely. 100%. I agree.
Enforcement, because what it tells us, just like with George Floyd, if we don't record the video, we can see what they put in the police report with George Floyd before they realized the video existed. Right. And now we see what they realized William McNeil video existed. So everybody, make sure you keep recording all of these interactions with law enforcement.
I agree.
Right.
I wonder, it was said earlier, well, we all give our children the talk, and he mastered the talk. William, are you able to share what you were taught growing up about police encounters?
It's very true, Hardwire, what you just said.
Basically, what I was taught is to, instead of fighting them on the street where we don't have power at, fight them in the courts.
Amen.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's exactly why you should have stepped out of the car in the first place. Even if you think your rights are being violated, that's where you go contest those. That's how you do it.
It's been talked about your composure in that moment. What was going through your mind during that time?
What was going through your mind in that moment? Motherfucker, I'm about to get paid. That's what I'm thinking. That's what, yeah, 100%.
So there's a lot. There's a lot going through.
A lot. That was so descriptive.
The sheriff has basically said if a complaint had been filed, the court would have on the line.
I go first. Okay, you go first. Let's go first. Yeah, you can come too.
What are they doing? What the fuck, dude?
Office. How can you make a conclusion that there's no criminality in the face of if a picture's worth 1,000, a video worth 10?
I can't believe they do this cope for 30 fucking minutes, yo. That is in fucking insane. Wow. All right. I can't sit through 30 minutes of that. But that was definitely an interesting morning, to say the least. Listen, I can't thank every single one of you guys enough for making these very shows happen, man. It's hump day, so that means we're doing a double show today. We have the Diamond Effect at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, so make sure you guys pull up to that. It's going to be a great time. If I don't see you guys then, I'll see you guys obviously tomorrow. Make sure you guys stick around for the raid. We're going to be redirecting you guys right here, right now. I'm setting it up so we can get Carney, his raid over there. Make sure you guys go over there and hit the like button over there as well as here, man. I very much appreciate your guys' contributions and help to the channel, and always appreciate you guys making this very shit happen, man. So until tomorrow morning, we'll see you guys. God bless everyone. Much love.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning.